Hello everyone, I'm Roy and welcome back. Today I'll be reading The Traffic Light Trio by It's Livy Bear. This is chapter 31, Work Studies 2, Electric Boogaloo. This podfic is for the Podficers Baton Pass. I will be reading chapters 2, 16, and 31. Onyx read the previous chapter and Lovegood will be reading the next chapter. We pass along who will be reading the Traffic Light Trio until the podfic is finished. A link to the playlist and person before and after me will be in the description. Without further ado, here's the summary. Work studies started last time. Notes. I promise this is still crack. Look at all these memes from last chapter. There is then 4 links that I, in fact, can't say because they are links. But go to the actual fanfiction to access those links. Alright, without further ado, here's chapter 31. Come on, Red Riot. You gotta keep up the pace. E grinned. Sorry, Fatgum. Never been in this part of the city before. It's neat. The BMI hero chuckled and ate another takoyaki. It also has some of the best food, Sun Eater? Here, try this. Amajiki Tamaki, also known as Sun Eater, murmured something under his breath and ducked into his cloak, but ate the savory ball of food anyway. It's good, he whispered, and Fatgum beamed and hummed, eating another himself. Denki grinned. It's kind of cool how you know all these people, Fatgum. You know the best restaurants, right? Oh, for sure. I gotta eat a lot to make my cork work well. Izuku nodded. Like Momo, she needs a lot more food than average to make her cork more effective, so she'll probably need to also have connections to places that sell food in the future. It's difficult to carry high-calorie items on you if she needs to make a lot of things. Fatgum chuckled. There are a lot of high-calorie foods for people like us, but none of them taste very good, so I say don't bother. We've gotten to the point where we can eat for the sake of eating, so I say make it taste good. You're talking about Creaty, right? Or is it Genesis now? E grinned. She did change it to Genesis after the one exercise, didn't she? But yeah, that's our class president, Yairozu Momo. Fatgum rubbed his chin. Gotta admit, it would be nice to have another apprentice. I miss the days when Sun Eater was a fresh-faced baby hero. Think she's interested in the work study? You guys are fine and all, but you're not mine, you know? Denki nodded solemnly, trying to keep his grin off his face. I'm sure she could be persuaded. If not, we could probably convince her. Sun Eater, would you be down to work with another person? You won't have us for long anyway. Amajiki glanced back at them and looked away, nodding slightly. You're not that bad, he murmured, and she seemed calm. Izuku smiled. Yeah, Momo is pretty level-headed. I think I'm a good balance as vice because everything happens to me, and nothing happens to her. Draw the fire and all that. The rest of the patrol was calm, talking and eating, helping people cross the street, Fatgum signing autographs, and they learned a lot. Momo was there the next time they got sent to the BMI hero, and she looked very pleased with that development. A week later, she shielded Sun Eater from a red bullet and stopped a sugar dealer from hurting civilians. They split up to patrol when they were with the Night Eye Agency. Izuku went with Lemillion, Denki went with Bubble Girl, and E went with Night Eye. Unlike with the Fatgum Agency or the Ryukyu Agency, Night Eye was small enough that pretty much all the sidekicks went out on patrols, so they could pair the first years with a more experienced hero each. Hawks did the same thing, as did Iida 10 and Best Jeanist. Gran didn't, but then again, he didn't have an agency. He kind of just sent the three of them out with no supervision and said, "Don't die, and also, don't kill anyone." It inspired a lot of confidence. The three of them got rotated between whoever was going out that day, but Izuku could safely say he liked going out with Togeto, Lemillion, the best. Bubble Girl was very bubbly, and Night Eye was just awkward to work with. Even if Izuku had helped him talk to All Might, finally, something about wanting to pick the 9th successor or something, Izuku just outright avoided that topic entirely. "So, Kohai, how are you liking your work study?" Izuku grinned. "It's great. I like working with Gran, and because he keeps loaning us out to other agencies, we can see a lot of differences. We're really learning how to work with people that aren't just our team and adapting to situations. It's pretty cool." Togeto smiled. "Yeah, I get that. Hey, have you figured out why heroes patrol?" Well, it's for visibility, I guess. I've noticed daytime heroes don't patrol where there's a lot of crime, but where there's a lot of people to sort of show that they're there combating crime. I guess it's probably a good deterrent, if nothing else, to be there and seen." Togeto beamed. "Yeah, that's it. There's a bit more, but you got the basic idea. And that's what's important." All of a sudden, Izuku heard the slapping of bare feet, and he whirled to the side to see a little girl running at him, not quite seeing where she was going. He ducked down and slowed down her momentum to grab her, looking back into the dark alley nervously. She hadn't stepped on anything bad, right? She was barefoot. "Hey there, you okay?" She was shaking like a leaf, red eyes glistening with unshed tears, but she didn't say anything. He smiled softly. "I'm Green Lightning. I'm a hero. What's your name?" She blinked a few times. "Aerie." "That's a really nice name. Aerie, do you need any help?" She started to hesitantly shake her head when a voice came out of the alley, making her freeze up. "I see you've found my daughter. Sorry for the trouble, heroes. We'll just be going now. Come along, Aerie." Her tiny fists clenched in his jacket, and one brushed over the traffic symbol on his sleeve, reminding him. The green light never stops. He smiled at the masked man. "Oh shit, that's definitely Overhaul, leader of the fucking Yakuza," and didn't release his grip. "She seems a little hurt, sir, but I have some first aid material, so I can patch her up. Who knows what she might have stepped on in the alley, right? Best to not let anything get infected. I mean, you have a mask on yourself." Overhaul raised an eyebrow. "I have allergies. But how thoughtful. Why don't you follow me back this way, and we can do just that." The million started forward with a hissed, "Green Lightning." "I know," he muttered back out of the corner of his mouth. "But I have like a dozen trackers on me. It'll be fine. I'm going to try and get more information at least. But call, sir. And soon." He straightened up, shifting his hold on Aerie. She was so small and still shaking, burying her face into Izuku's jacket. To have one of his arms free to start digging for the antibiotic and bandages he had in his belt. Lemillion hesitantly walked off in the corner of his eye, already taking out his phone. "I can't say I've heard of you, but now that I look at you more closely, I believe I recognize you from the UA Sports Festival. You were the second place finisher for the first years, I believe." Izuku couldn't help but grimace. That was a while ago. You must have a really good memory. It helps when putting things back together. Pain. Edro watched Sir Night-Eye get up and answer a call. He was polite enough to not listen in, but watching the already pale man turn to a paper white did worry him considerably. He hung up whoever he was talking to and sped-walked in the direction of the agency. Come on, we have a problem. E bit his lip to stop from asking what it was, knowing that he'd probably be told when everyone else was. Soon enough, they met just inside the agency with Denki, Bubble Girl, and Lemillion. Wait, where's Zuko? Togedar ran a hand through his hair. We encountered Overhaul with a little girl on patrol, and he refused to leave her, so he ended up going with Overhaul. I don't think Overhaul realized we were onto him, but I'm afraid of what's going to happen to Green Lightning. He said he has trackers on him, but... Denki snorted and took out his phone. This is a bi-weekly occurrence. He gets kidnapped all the time. Luckily, I have the app that ties into his... He furrowed his brows before calling someone. Hey, May? Yes, generator? Can you check the last, 10 minutes of tracker data for Izuku? I think the app might be glitching out or something. There was a beat before she made an odd noise. Generator, what exactly happened? Because it's almost like the trackers got factory reset. I can tell they exist, but they aren't transmitting data to my systems anymore. Night-Eye frowned. You designed trackers that don't immediately tell you their location. Well, duh! I want to market them, so I made it so they could key into a system. But it doesn't have to be my system. People are very particular about their databases, and I wouldn't want to have to run the servers for all the data when this inevitably takes off and takes the hero world by storm. Not sure how Hero Course managed to factory reset them, though, since these are prototypes and would literally have to be taken apart and remade to reset them. Togeda slapped a hand over his mouth, but couldn't cover his gasp. Overhaul's cork. Sir Night-Eye stood straighter and grabbed his own phone. Send the last known location. We're going to comb the area. Since the trackers have been remade, it's safe to assume Green Lightning has as well. Hopefully Overhaul simply left him somewhere. They couldn't find him. Notes. I promise. It is. Really. It's still crack. I swear. All right, that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. Once again, please read the description because the playlist will be linked in the description, as well as the channels of the person that went right before me and the person that will go right after me. This is my last chapter for this work, so you will not hear from me anymore during this baton pass. I do really hope you enjoyed listening and continue listening to the series. Bye-bye.